I have never been much of a vampire fan, still I'm not. Aside from this film, I do love, but I was never a Mummy, Frankenstein, vampire fan. But I came into audition for this, and I think I was one of the first, probably early on. And I figured, my thought was, it wasn't in the script, but I thought, well, if you're trying to put this policeman off, probably it would not be good to be really serious and scary. So I threw in the cross and all the other stuff when I auditioned, and I guess Tom liked it. And then I had to wait about 3 or 4 months, and I was sure I wasn't going to get the part, but I finally did. So.
Yeah. Hello, testing. I was living in the Bay Area, and I had met a casting woman down here, Jackie Birch, who cast this thing. She was casting Mask in '84 or something like that, and had met her and met with Peter Bogdanovich and got close on that, but it didn't happen. And then this came up, I guess, later on the next year, and she called up there and said, there's something you might be right for. I actually was coming down to LA, and I called and said, can I take you to lunch or something like that? And she said, no, but come in and read for this part. So I came in and read for this after driving through the Joaquin Valley for 12 hours in a Datsun or something. And I had to come down like 4 or 5 times to read for it, and then finally I got the call. Actually, on Halloween night, they called and said that I had the role, so I was very happy with that. But yeah.
Can you talk a little bit? He's not here with us, but I hope he's looking down and enjoying us. But talk
with
about
Roddy
McDowall.
Roddy. He was what you would expect. He was great and generous. We were just talking about this today. There was absolutely no sense of, hi, you're going to be working with me, Roddy McDowall. From the very beginning, it was chummy and friendly, and he had his video camera on his shoulder, and he was shooting, like family movies the whole time that we were doing it. And Jonathan's actually going to go, or no, you're going to go, or you're going to BU to find that, which I guess they have there. But he was great. He was wonderful, very accessible. Tom knew him very well, and he was a good friend. You want to say something, Tom, about Roddy? Something nice.
Something nice. Roddy was a walking oral history of Hollywood. I had the extraordinary experience the last day that MGM was in existence. Roddy walked me through the back lot. Took me, this is the now Sony Studios. Took me in the underground passageways where they still stored the nitrate film and where they had all the utility pipes, and described to me what movies happened on what sets, what affairs happened in what dressing rooms, at what point Tracy Hepburn had met Tracy. Just outside the Thalberg building. He told me stories about the Silent Stars. He went to see the Silent Stars at the motion picture homes. He was visiting Mary Astor to the end. He had a love of the business, and he carried the decades inside of him. He'd been a child star at 8 years old, and he'd survived it somehow. And I learned so much about the history of Hollywood and about the ups and downs through him. And there was great caring, and my one regret was he would not write his autobiography. And he wouldn't because he knew where the bodies were buried. and he just couldn't betray the confidences. And he was a wonderful, sweet man who cared about other people in the business and gave a great deal of time and money and effort to the motion picture home. And I'm just sorry that all that history was lost. He also was a collector. The vampire hunting kit here is Roddy saved that, and that's at Boston University.
Yep.
He in a lot of ways, Roddy was the ultimate fan, and he had stories about people like John Ford, and it was just an endless list.